guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about procrastination. Without further ado, let's go to the video.
You're not procrastinating because you're lazy. You're procrastinating because you're avoidant. Because think about the things that you procrastinate. And my ADHD girlies, I hope you guys are listening closely. There's not a feeling of, oh, I really don't want to do that thing. You desperately want to do the thing. You desperately want the thing to be done. That is the opposite of laziness because it's not a choice. If it was up to you, you would be doing that thing and it would be completed yesterday, months ago, years ago. You're avoiding the feelings you associate with that task. So if you're a perfectionist like me with my paintings, I avoid trying to touch the piece because I think I'm gonna mess up the piece. And so if I get to a stopping point, it takes me days, a week, 2 weeks to return because I'm so scared to mess up that next step. Or you're avoiding the feelings of shame that you've accumulated over time from having not done that task for so long. So if you told yourself you were going to email that person back a week ago, well, now it's a week later and you're feeling embarrassed that it's taken you a week to get back to them. And because you feel embarrassed, doing that thing makes you feel shame. So what do? You do everything to take your mind off of that feeling of shame. You scroll, you doom scroll on the internet. You distract yourself in every way possible, and it doesn't work. Because in the back of your head, you're still draining your energy resources overthinking those horrible feelings. Avoiding our feelings does not allow us to process them. In an ideal world, when you know how to emotionally regulate, your feelings wash over you like a wave. And then again, the lake or the ocean or whatever is calm again. It's calm waters once that feeling washes over you. But you're terrified of those feelings. And so you push it away, you push it away, you push it away, more time passes, and it's a vicious cycle, and you end up feeling worse and worse and worse. Finally, something gives, the task ends up taking 5 seconds, and you feel like an idiot because it took you 2 years. So if you've been following me up until this point, I want to make sure you interact 3 times to make sure you see me on your For You page again, and let's jump into how you can fix this. You're thinking of this task as this insurmountable mountain. So for me, when I'm thinking about spending time on my piece, I'm not thinking about each step. I'm thinking about the final product. I'm worried about, is it going to look like the reference picture? Is it going to be as powerful of a piece as I think my other pieces were that I was really proud of? Is it going to live up to my own expectations? And then along with those feelings, there's this crippling sense of dread where I'm like, I don't want to mess this up. And it feels like every brushstroke is absolutely permanent and unchangeable. But if we break that down, that's not true. I even fundamentally as an artist don't think there are mistakes in art. I think each stroke happens for a reason. But my perfectionism, procrastination, and anxiety do not think the same way. So this is how I get them on board. I make the task so unbelievably small, it's almost laughable. So small that the expectation is so low that it's impossible for me to mess it up. I even tell myself to try and mess it up. My goal is to go to my studio and try to mess up the piece. I'll literally say to myself, Abby, go in there and do your worst and put a timer on it. So today, I literally didn't sleep all of last night. I was doing all this other work throughout the morning, and throughout the afternoon I had meetings. But my dad reminded me, Abby, you need to paint today. Make sure you paint just 30 minutes. And even 30 minutes felt like too long because I had been waiting all day to lie down and I had forgotten that I needed to be doing this. So I set a timer for 30 minutes and I didn't put it in my head that I had to start immediately on the piece. I spent a bunch of time just setting up the studio, setting up the paint, sitting there, tired, looking at it. I went to the bathroom, sat on the toilet for a good 15 minutes. Like I'd already peed, I was just sitting there. I was running down the clock. But even though I wasn't actually painting, I was still showing myself that I was willing to show up for myself. Because hey, it's not do your best when you're a perfectionist, it's do your worst. So I came in here and I did my worst for 22 of the 30 minutes. And then I checked that timer and saw there were only 8 minutes on the clock. And I thought to myself, I have it in me to at least lay down paint for 8 minutes. So I finally kicked into gear and laid down some paint strokes because the expectation at that point was so low. And you don't have to start with 30-minute expectations. You can start with 5 minutes, 2 minutes. I really recommend the book Atomic Habits if you haven't read it. Once there were 8 minutes on the clock, I was like, I can do 8 minutes. Come on, it's 8 minutes. And my goal is to do my worst. So if I fuck it up in 8 minutes, I fuck it up. I'll try and fix it tomorrow. But what happened after those 8 minutes? My timer went off and I wanted to keep going. My paint ran out on the palette and I refilled the paint knowing that, hey, I only have to do 8 minutes of this. Why am I still doing this? The iPad I was using to look at as a reference photo died. And so what did I do? I pulled out my printed reference photo and I used that instead. So all of a sudden, I had done my 30-minute obligation, and the expectation was to do my absolute worst, right? To do something. And after 22 minutes of time wasting, I really only had to do 8 minutes of painting. But because I showed myself I could show up for myself, I ended up spending a good extra hour in this studio painting. You can't pull motivation out of your ass. Inspired action inspires more action. Happy creating.
So if you struggle with inconsistency and procrastination, so you start something, you cannot finish it, you have tasks lined up for you, you are not even starting yet, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to do this thing tomorrow. I know everybody likes to call you lazy and be like, oh my God, you are just so lazy. I actually don't think it's laziness. I think it's something different. And hear me out. So let me give you guys a backstory here. I started my business. I don't know if you guys know that, but I did. And I've been struggling so hard to complete the website. Like, I don't know. I have everything. I have all the information in my head. But to articulate it and put it down is a problem. I'll sit down in front of my laptop, and when I'm about to you start the website, something else will come up. Maybe that's when I know I want to go and wash the plates. Maybe that's when I know I want to go and clean the floor. Maybe that's when I know I want to go and do something sharp. But I will do every other task except from that task I'm supposed to do. And my conclusion before was that if you're just too lazy, you're too distracted with your phone, yada yada yada, you don't want to do your task, you're procrastinating. But one day I decided to sit down and ask myself, I was like, okay, why are you procrastinating? Why are you putting off tasks? Why are you lazy? And then I realized that the reason why I've been doing all those laziness, procrastination and all of that is because deep down, I'm scared that what if the business doesn't succeed? Deep down, I'm very scared about that. So if me to face that fear, right, I would rather delay that business. Like, I would rather put off tasks and not do it. I would rather do something else rather than face that fear that, okay, you are going to succeed. Nothing is going to happen to you, business, right? Now that I know that the reason why I've not been doing my website thing is because I'm so scared that what if the business doesn't succeed? What I have to tackle is that feeling, right? I have to face my fears and be like, you know what? Reassure myself that this business is going to succeed. We're going to do everything it takes for it to succeed. And just leave the rest to the universe to take its course, right? Now, it's easier for me to now go back and not put off tasks and finish that work because I have addressed that feeling. So most of the times, when you're procrastinating, when it looks like you're lazy, when it looks like you are starting something, you're not finishing it, it's actually a feeling that you're trying to avoid. I'm serious, you guys. It's actually a feeling that you're trying to avoid. Ask yourself deep down, what am I trying to avoid? What am I not facing? And you yourself will actually tell you, like, yourself don't lie to you. So yeah, I hope you guys found this message helpful. I just thought about it and I needed to tell you guys. I was like, oh my God, really, you guys need to know about this. So yeah, bye guys. Have a nice day. Mwah.
You know, ungakula and you see an old person. This person is wise, this person is smart, and you just wonder, why is this person struggling now? Like, what happened when they were younger, and why are they struggling so much now? Because they had so much potential. Even when you hear stories about these people, or wherever, you understand that these people were full of potential and they had opportunities right at their lap. That's when you understand how dangerous procrastination is. Because if procrastination will make you believe that you still have time. Procrastination will make you believe that 5 minutes does not steal away from your dream. But if you give me enough 5 minutes, those 5 minutes will turn into hours. Those hours will turn into days. Days will turn into a month. The Bible says that the devil came to steal, kill, and destroy. And what the devil capitalizes in is stealing your time. Oh my word, no, I'm so lazy. Oh my word, no, I'm going to do it later. You will wake up 5 years later and the opportunities that you had at that point in time are no longer there because you cannot regain time that is wasted. So I'm going to need us to start looking at procrastination for what it is and how it can take a life full of potential and turn it into literally nothing. Like, procrastination looks so cool now, but it's not going to be cool years later down the line and you've not done anything with your life. I always say that, opportunities must always be met with preparedness. And there's a saying that I've heard that says that victory likes preparation. So never find yourself idling. Never find yourself not doing anything. Never find yourself ungenzi lutho. Like, you must always be in a process of preparation. Prepare for your dreams. But now, how do you prepare for things that you don't know? It means you must rediscover what you want. Literally, guys, it's the everyday decisions that you make that lead to your future. So when you wake up in the morning, you need to have a checklist. First thing, I'm going to go to the gym. Second thing, it doesn't even need to be a hectic thing. Second thing, I'm going to read a book. And you hold yourself accountable, because procrastination will lie to you and you will think that you have time.
What if your self-sabotage was directly correlated to how you structure out your day? What if your schedule could be redesigned to force you to stop postponing yourself? And if you don't believe me, try this. List out all your priorities in life that you value the most. That could be family, health, relationships, certain project you're trying to get off the ground. And most likely you're going to have things at the bottom that are things that you have to do, like admin, life admin, maybe even going to work if it's a job that you don't like. Then list out the order of your day as it stands right now. Some of us start with things that we say we value the least first. This whole thing can be summed up by this concept found in the book Eat the Frog, which is the Eat the Frog strategy, which is where you get your most important task done at the start of the day. Imagine what your life would look like at the end of this year if you got your most important task done first.
Did you know that procrastination kills your confidence? Let me explain. Every time you procrastinate, you reaffirm to yourself that you are unreliable. You reaffirm to yourself that you can't be trusted. You tell your brain that you are lazy and that you don't get anything done. And on top of that, after you procrastinate, you kick yourself. You are angry at yourself. You are irritated at yourself. So you keep telling yourself, but what's wrong with me? Why am I like this? You get annoyed with yourself. You say all these negative things to yourself that stick to your brain and make you lose confidence all the more. There's something called the path of least resistance. The path of least resistance is when you choose the easy way out, you are choosing the path of least resistance. But when you choose the difficult option, you are choosing the path of most resistance. For example, you know that you need to get up and do the dishes, but you choose instead to watch a movie instead of doing the dishes. And by the time you're done doing the dishes, instead of choosing to do the dishes, you choose to go to bed. That decision kills your confidence. And it may seem like it's unrelated to business or your career, but it's those decisions that you make every day, choosing to order in instead of cooking a healthy meal, choosing to sleep a little longer instead of waking up and going to gym, choosing to answer that call or to make that call to that friend that you know is going to talk for 1 hour instead of focusing on work. Whatever easier route you choose, that easier route is killing your confidence. You may think that the way you carry yourself outside of the office or outside of business doesn't affect your life. But here's the truth. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Here's a quick test to figure out if you're always taking the path of least resistance. Take a piece of paper and start whenever you start. You can start in the evening, start whenever. In fact, as this video ends, probably go ahead and start. Take a piece of paper and write least resistance and most resistance. And every decision you make, whether you choose to go the easy way or the hard way, mark easy way, hard way, easy way, hard way. Do this maybe for 2-3 days, right? You're just observing, and don't lie to yourself. You know what you would have done before you started this test. So just be honest to yourself and decide what are you doing and what would you do. And then whatever you mark, go and do that. If you mark that you're going to continue to watch the movie, watch the movie. If you mark that you're going to stand up and do that project or do the laundry or do the dishes, mark that thing. And what you're going to do at the end of this test period, maybe the 2 days, the 1 day, whatever, notice how many times you take the least resistance and how many times you take the most resistance. And this is going to be the result for you. If you're always taking 50-50, 50% resistance, least resistance, 50% most resistance, you know that your life is going to basically stay the same. So 5 years from now, you're going to be in the same place. You are 50-50, you are lukewarm, you are in the middle. More or less, you're just going to be the same person in 5 years from now. If you are someone who is taking more easy route than the hard route, so you're always on the least resistance and less on the hard resistance, you are likely to become poor. I can tell you now that the trajectory of your life says that you're going to become poor. You are going to die poor, because if you're always taking the easy way out and not choosing the difficult way, you are going to end up poor. I can guarantee that your future says you're going to be poor, because no one who chooses the easy way out all the time ever succeeds.
And if you notice that you are always choosing the hard way, you are choosing the path of most resistance more than you choose the path of least resistance. It doesn't have to be 100% of the time. I mean, ideally, you want it to be 100% of the time. But if you notice that in your life, most of the time you choose the path of most resistance, I can tell you now that you are going to succeed. I can tell you now that success is inevitable for you. You are going to become somebody. You are going to grow in your career. You're going to grow your business. You're going to grow in your relationships. You're going to grow in personal development. You're going to become a better person in the future. Because every time you choose to do something hard instead of doing something easy, you are paving a path for yourself that is positive. You are telling yourself that you are reliable. You are telling yourself that you are responsible. You are telling yourself that you can be trusted. And that thing grows your confidence. And a confident person is unbeatable. A confident person does well in the office. A confident person does well in business. A confident person succeeds in life. So do yourself a favor. Don't kill your confidence by procrastinating all the time. And it's not only at the workplace, even in your personal life, even in your relationships. Don't keep procrastinating your children or your spouse or your family. Just prioritize, definitely prioritize, but don't procrastinate. There's a difference. If you enjoy this type of content, please like and follow.
While you're looking for the prayer to end your procrastination, you need to also be asking God to forgive you for your disobedience, because a lot of times what we're calling procrastination is actually just being disobedient. You don't want to, and not just with your goals. God will tell you to clean up that sin in your life, and you're like, yeah, okay. Right. And while we're at it, we also need to go ahead and thank him for the grace and mercy of time that he continues to give us while we practice this disobedience that we're claiming is just procrastination. So God will call you out of your sin. God will start to convict you about something that you know you're not supposed to be doing. And you, for a variety of reasons, it could be, well, God, I don't want people to look at me funny. Well, God, just one more time. God, I'm really struggling with this. And really, if we're being honest with ourselves, struggling with sin, while it is a very real thing, at the root of it, it is you deciding that that sin is more important to you than the Lord, because you haven't turned it over to him. You haven't surrendered it to him. You haven't gone to him, seeking him diligently and asking him to remove that thing from your life, and to show you the ways that you're constantly falling into that sin, show you the ways that you keep going down the path to temptation for that sin, show you how to cut that sin off from your life. But while you're saying it's all procrastination, you have to consider this. You saying, I'm going to go to the Lord when I'm older. How you know you're going to make it to when you're older? That's real bold of you to assume that, right? And it's you procrastinating, but it's really just being disobedient, because anytime you feel that pull, anytime you feel God pulling on you and you're like, yeah, not right now, God, that's disobedience.
So guys, procrastination is a response of fear of failing or succeeding, but whatever it is, you can come out of it because it's a battle. So take baby steps, do things now. If you want to do something, just stand up and do it now and reward yourself after. Maybe take yourself out, maybe buy yourself a little snack and make yourself happy. For me, what I do is I create another me in my head that motivates me a lot. I talk to myself a lot. I encourage myself, because you cannot rely on somebody else to do it for you. Our goal is to evolve. So that's what will be your motivation to make yourself happy. So guys, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Have you subscribed yet? Please do like and share your thoughts in the comment section. Let's chat in the comment section, and I pray that God will help you in this journey. I love you so much. See you in the next video. If you haven't just subscribed, please subscribe, like and share. Do share your thought, please, in the comment section. And I pray that God will help you in this journey. I love you so much. See you in the next video.